Greetings, welcome back. We're discussing the budget and the opportunities or the unintended consequences, Peter.
Yeah.
One of the questions we're getting asked a lot from financial planners, financial advisors, is, or they're asking our guidance or commentary on, should someone who is at the moment, let's say, fully uncrystallised, meaning, let's say, for example, they've got an excess LTA of 200,000 and they haven't crystallised, should they crystallise now in the 23-24 tax year? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, John, I think the viewers should understand that there's a huge decision to be made with regards an individual who has got an uncrystallised fund. In the example that you're giving there, that in theory would require the individual either to designate up to the lifetime allowance into drawdown.
Yep.
And not take any tax-free cash and not take any income. That would be one option.
That's one option. I was going to say it's not requiring them not to take tax-free cash, but one of the options could be designate the whole fund into drawdown.
That's correct.
They don't have to take tax-free cash.
That's correct.
Yep.
Obviously, the alternative to that, and people might be choking on their coffee as they're hearing us say that. The other alternative is that you take the maximum tax-free cash, i.e. 25% of the standard lifetime allowance or the protected lifetime allowance, but that then immediately comes into the individual's estate.
Yeah. So for those people who have just choked on their coffee, give us a reason why someone might not want to take the tax-free cash.
So one reason why would be that they're in ill health and they would designate benefits down into drawdown. Crystallised benefits are not tested against their lifetime allowance prior to age 75, regardless of the growth of those crystallised benefits. And so therefore, if I'm sat here today with a fund of £1,273,100 and I am in ill health, not serious ill health, I don't mean that, but I mean that the likelihood of me surviving, say, more than 4 or 5 years is minimal, then potentially I would save, in that example, £50,000 for
because
the sake
of the excess. There's no excess annual LTA tax charge on the drawdown. Yes, absolutely.
And I would have non-fettered growth opportunity within that crystallised fund because I will not pay a tax charge because I don't believe I'm going to reach age 75, possibly.
But even if they did reach age 45,
75.
75, they, under the current rules, wouldn't have an excess LTA tax charge.
That's correct.
So,
because the interesting thing is, although the benefit crystallisation event calculation is made, the charge applicable at age 75, the 25% charge, would not be levied under the current legislation. Yep. So actually, the criteria for deciding whether or not to do that comes down to the personal objectives of the individual.
Yep.
What do they want to do? The tax position of the beneficiaries,
their
age, their health, their IHT position, and really it isn't one size fits all. It is down to the personal circumstances of the individual.
Absolutely, and that's one of the unintended consequences or opportunities from the budget, designating the whole amount in, not taking the tax-free cash. On the other hand, you could take the tax-free cash.
Absolutely right.
You could fully crystallise the tax-free cash.
So the alternative then is that you take the maximum tax-free cash, that comes into the estate. What do you do with that money? From the point of view of, does it impact? Does the client have an IHT problem? Are they going to gift the money away? And all of the IHT planning opportunities then pass back to the financial planner, pass back to the individual from that perspective.
Yep, absolutely.
I know it's a favourite subject of yours. The key thing for a financial planner would be informed consent, John.
Pierre, the informed consent. The informed consent could be another series of videos for us. It's a big subject, but yes, informed consent. I think it nicely brings us to the end of this little conversation, Peter, because I think what's important is clients need to be put in an informed decision.
Correct, John.
So if I have a client or if I have a case in front of us, if an accountant comes to us and speak to us, or a lawyer comes to speak to us, Peter, or an advisor comes to speak to us, we're trying to put our clients, maybe a lawyer, maybe an accountant, maybe a financial advisor, or direct clients who come to speak to us. We want to put them in a position of informed consent, or in other words, make an informed decision. So here's option A, here's option B. What works best for your plans? I'm just going to finish off by saying I think one of the worst things that anybody could do, and I mean that for anybody out there who's a client of Expert Pensions Consulting, which could be a legal firm, accountancy firm, or whoever, the worst thing they could do, Peter, is do nothing.
Absolutely, John. That isn't an option.
That's not an option, yeah, absolutely. See you on the next video.